Welcome back to the martinliedtke channel. Glad you could be here again today, guys, for a super interesting post and some clues that I have discovered. What we're going to be talking about today is Venice, what it's built on. Now, you may not have seen this before, some of you already know, but the city of Venice is built on wooden poles. This is an image of these ancient wooden poles here. So they say in the official narrative that it was Venice built by refugees fleeing barbaric invasions. And then they drilled wooden piles into the lagoon, the swamp, to raise the city from that swamp. So I think this is just a cover story. It wasn't built on water. It was built to control water. I think that Venice was once a major Tatarian city. And I think that it was a hydromantic hub, a city engineered to harness etheric currents flowing beneath the city and the Adriatic. Beneath the city of Venice is a highly important node. And that node has crossing points, and that node gives off energy. So the canals, not for transport, originally they were liquid ley lines designed to channel vibrational energy through the city. The foundations of the trees themselves, they were crystalline foundations. So-called wooden piles were actually resonant pylons made from ancient petrified trees that had absorbed centuries of energies. These pylons, they anchored the city, and the submerged energy grid was below the city, and it drew the power up into Venice, allowing Phoenicians to manipulate tides, fog, and even the perception of reality itself. The architecture, not just Gothic flair. The pointed arches and the rose windows were frequency amplifiers. Antiquutech. The bells, well, the Campanile Tower, which is one famous one, is a vibrational beacon, and it pulsates signals across the entire realm. This is part of the ancient energy grid, and Venice was a major part of that. Masks and carnivals. Well, Venice is famous for masks and carnivals, but I don't think it was for anonymity in the masquerade ball, but I think it was for protection. I think they were shielding their faces and they were wearing Antiqutech clothing because of the residue effects emitted from the frequencies during seasonal, if you want to call them, resets. I can hardly imagine, guys, that the entire Venice is on top of these poles, these pylons, these posts, apparently 500,000. There is a big question in the historical narrative as where did all the trees come from? Well, I think these trees were already petrified, and I've seen petrified trees myself, and they happen quite quickly in New Mexico that I've seen them. So let me just show you some beautiful pictures of Venice. So try and imagine that all of this antiquity is on top of petrified trees and pylons, wooden pylons. But the pylons in the official narrative, they've been misidentified, guys, as primitive support. But the city, it was rebranded after a reset, and it was called a miracle of medieval engineering. But the truth isn't that. The truth was this was an Antiqutech hub, the Phoenician Antiqutech hub. Now, the Venetians, as you know, are the masters of water. And at some stage in the past, this great city was Tatarian. You can see some of the Venetians there in the past getting their unbelievable quality water, I should imagine, but from a full Venetian well. Bridge of Sighs. Many tales about that. Apparently, it's one of the last places you look over until you go into the, the Spanish or the Italian Inquisition of the time, which is always nobody expects the Inquisition. Dun dun dun. So the bridge is also part of the energy grid transfer current, and also, like with the star forts and the water all around them, this magnified water part of the circuit boards. And I think that the artists of old, Caravaggio famously painted a series of paintings of the regatas of Venice, the famous regatas of the 1700s and 1800s of Venice. And you could see that they do these regatas in the modern day gondolas and boats all on the Grand Canal, and all picking up that etheric energy from the Antiqutech buildings and the energy drawn up from them poles, which was a technology. This wasn't just primitive thinking, we'll use trees. This was a known technology to use petrified trees. And then you've got all of this ornamental, quite Moorish looking stonework that is apparently on these piles. I hope she doesn't get a pigeon poop on her head. You can see some Bacchusite type peoples, or an Ovidian theme on the fountain, if that's what it is. Unusual clock here as well. Let's have a look at this. The Torre del Orlagio. Okay, we have how many hours? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. This is a 24-hour clock. Okay. And we've got, is that a 1 and a 5? 6, 1, 4, 4, 17, 15. And the lion with the wings open and the bell. And these two smack the bell, sending them vibrations across the realm. It's like the internet of the ancient world, if you like. Ooh, look at that. That's an unbelievable bridge, that one, isn't it? Oh, no, I think that's the Bridge of Sighs. I think the other one's Grand Canal. But yeah, apparently they look through these geometric patterns, and apparently they would go into a miserable place. Nice negative splattering for the historical narrative, but Venetians. Let's have a look. God, the grapes, everything. The Hercules character. Totally the capital for the Venetians. Totally. So yeah, this looks like smack square outside there, but we got a large cloister here of ancient church workage with metal bars going through here, all the way down. This is going to be because it's a circuit, a current is running through there, and it has to be a circuit. It's going right through the entire building. All of these churches did exactly the same. These columns look like they're too short. They look disproportionate to the size of the arch. I would say this is half the column, and that the other column is below ground level. So I don't think that it was originally built on water. I think that there was a mud flood catastrophe. Look at this. Beautiful atmosphere to these photographs. And look at all of the Phoenicians on the water fountain. How amazing quality, just for a city street, guys. And if you can see this on the bas relief here, this is the lion and the faceless knight who has been zapped by the Fache's energy weapon. Plenty of winged lions. Some people there up on the staircase. Weird spooky stuff. But you can see the holes in here for resonance to escape. And the water would be fantastic. Oh, excuse me. Let's move back. They went through a bit quick there, didn't they? So yeah. Where did the water get plumbed in? when it's all sticks, or excuse me, pylons underneath all of this. You know, how heavy would that building be? Thousands of tons, and it's all on these poles. Absolutely a miracle, all right. So this came down, I think it was 1906, this San Marcos Tower, and they built another replica, which I'm going to be going up on the weekend to do some flat earth distance shots with flat earth meetup in this very square this weekend. So if you are interested on going, there is a chance still you could get there and just hang out for the weekend and do. I'm going to be doing some presenting and being Marticus. Look at all of the detail in that, guys. Be quiet, seagull. Got a seagull outside. So yeah, that must weigh about 1,000 ton. Them two columns there, just on this on these pylons. But look at the detail. Absolutely amazing. I can't. Again, that column there looks just like a fraction of the column, and the rest would be under. Maybe it just touches the tops of them piles and goes all the way into the etheric source, because this thing's on a node, a major node, and that's why they put all these giant buildings and basilicas, and the home of the Phoenicians. How many famous people from this city? You know, Marco Polo. God, he just lists of famous historical narratives. Painters, the artists. Wow, how beautiful. There you can see the Phoenicians, you know, the seashells. But beautiful wrought iron work over the big doors. So I'm going to obviously take as many pictures as I possibly can and try and find some more clues. But I definitely think that this is an energy plant. This is right at the end of the archipelago of islands, the etheric archipelago, I like to call it. Some bells missing in the towers here, but it looks like a ship when you look from above on photographs. I'll show you in a minute. Indeed, that could have been the case. A Phoenician ship came in, moored off on the top of them logs, concreted in or filled in on the bases, on the foundations, and Bob's your uncle. Citizenship. Wow, look at this thing. It's literally breathtaking sometimes, architecture, isn't it? But the architecture in the modern day has lost its luster for some reason. It just hasn't got the same pizzazz, like that, for example, in San Marcos Square, which I will be taking photos of. But look at the bristling, beautiful Antiqutech resonators, the poles, everything here, part of the ancient energy grid, using etheric sources brought up from the node that is underneath. Look at the size of this basilica, this church. Look at them little windows, all on wooden columns. So isn't Italy like prone to earthquakes sometimes? Isn't that what happened to San Marcos Tower? Oh, yeah. So maybe these columns are really, really earthquake proof, because this place has been here a long time by the look of it, this energy device. Look at these resonators on balls. Not for candles there, well, maybe for lights there, but wow, isn't that a bit ostentatious for just a couple of candles? Yeah, it's a resonator, mercury probably. The rest looks like it's just been painted in with a pencil. That doesn't even look real. And it is in the modern day Monroe, I think, island, isn't it? In the distance where they make the glass blow in, and you can see columns. You know, we've all watched the James Bond movies where they're in speedboats. We've all probably seen the Johnny Depp movie, The Tourist, because loads of movies actually from Venice, isn't there? This bit here looks like a ship, the bows of a ship, doesn't it? And this like the accommodation block on an old ship, but it's just mind-boggling to think that this is all on stakes. And there we are. I'm going to end this post very shortly. This has been a quick one. There's a couple of posts to go up this week. Make sure to look in the descriptions box for things that are happening this week. This is this weekend. And we're going to go and check out the beauty of one of the most famous, iconic cities on earth. Home of the Venetian. Here they are here. Them churchy people, the clergy-worgy, doing their clergy-worgy stuff, whatever they do, with some holy reliquary. Okay, I'm sure one or two of them have been touched by divinity, touched by something. Touching me, touching you. Okay, so yeah, I can't wait to get my my mince pies on that lot. I have been to Venice, but that was 35 years ago. So see you very, very soon. Much love. Make sure to come back very soon to Flat Earth British. Let me show I'm here. There I am, Flat Earth British. Only 60-minute video. So yeah, I just did an interview with an ancient aliens guy from the alien event who was talking about planets and stuff. But a really lovely chap. I'm going to put that up this weekend or this week. So, boom shank, may the seeds of your loins be forever fruitful in the belly of your woman. And if you are coming to Venice, come to Venice. Okay, it's going to be juicy. Okay. See you very soon. Much love.